Hi, and welcome back to episode 6 of Subsurface. Not a lot's happened since episode 5, as I'm still awaiting manufacture and delivery from C&L Finescale of the third and fourth London Underground rail ramps, the little cast ramps that go on the end of the third and fourth rails, respectively. So I'm a bit in limbo because I can't do anything. Until I've got these in place, i.e. until I've got the third and fourth rails in. I can't weather the track, I can't ballast the track. So basically, I'm a little bit stuck at the moment. However, waiting for these third and fourth rail ramps to arrive has given me the time to find out a few anomalies, and one of the anomalies that I've encountered is the fact that the fourth rail was actually sitting too high. And pushing one of the Bachmann motor bogies or motor cars over the fourth rail, I found that it was actually lifting it clear of the running rails. I can only put this down to the fact that on the Bachmann S-stock, the actual motor is contained within the rear bogie of the power car. It's not in the car body itself and doesn't enter or protrude into the car body. It's actually contained within the bogie. In fact, what this does is this reduces the height or the height clearance between the bottom of the bogie and the tops of the rails. And I think this, in conjunction with the Pico Code 75 fine scale bullhead, has reduced the height clearance even more. So what I found was that just pushing one of the intermediate cars across the module, there was no problem at all. It was only when I went to push one of the power cars across that I discovered that it was actually fouling on the fourth rail. Now, as you can see from this shot, what I've had to do is remove the fourth rail that I'd installed between the 2 points. And if I pan round, I've also had to remove the sections of fourth rail that come off the slipper ramps between the point blades. And I also had to remove the entire section of centre fourth rail that was between the eastbound running lines on the west side of the point. Now, as you can see from this little pin that's attached to the bottom of the insulator chair is normally the part that you drill a hole for and is inserted into the sleeper. However, if you look on the insulator chair at the next sort of collet up, what I've had to do is drill a hole big enough in the sleepers to accept this, so that the whole unit sits a lot lower than what it should do in the track. So as you can see with this insulator pot that is now reinstalled back in the track work, it's actually reduced the height that it sits above the sleepers. But visually, I don't think it makes a great deal of difference. So I've got round the problem with the Pico insulator pots. However, if I pan round to the right, to the end of the fourth rail ramp, the actual ones that I'm using here are the cast C&L fine scale insulator pots. Now, because I'd fixed these in place with epoxy resin, what I've had to do is use a Dremel tool to actually grind the inner face of the insulator pot away, just so that the fourth rail ramp sits a little bit lower. But I've overcome the problem. It was a bit of a concern, as I said before. Had I not noticed this, I would have gone ahead and completely installed all the third and fourth rail ramps, the third and fourth rails, only to find that the S-stock wouldn't run on the layout, which would have been a bit of a problem. So, as I say, this little delay in waiting for the third and fourth rail ramps to arrive has been a bit of a godsend, really, which has allowed me to discover this height problem associated with the S-stock and the clearance of the fourth rails. So, whilst in this state of limbo, not being able to do anything to the track, what I've been doing is scouring the internet for various Lineside accessories that I'm going to incorporate on the module. One of these being these excellent section switch cabinets that I've got from Metro Models in London. These are actually made of brass and come pre-painted with the appropriate decals for both the positive and negative cabinets on them. These represent the fiberglass type, which is the more modern cabinet that are seen all over the underground system. And if I pan down to the front, you will also see that I've picked up an excellent 3D printed representation of one of the ubiquitous London Underground cable tunnels. This is by a company called The Fourth Rail and a guy called Nigel Atkins that sells an absolute plethora of London Underground Lineside accessories, all 3D printed. What I intend to do is purchase, as you can see at this side, further cable hangers that will complete a run of the cable hangers along the length of the layout. It is peculiar stuff to work in or work with, particularly sticking it together. But as I say, the actual detail they do on it is incredible, especially in this scale. I've also picked up one of the excellent Will's modern equipment buildings, a simple kit that goes together really easily and quite representative of modern trackside structures that you see today. I'm not sure where it's going to fit on the module, but it's definitely going to be a place for it somewhere. I've been also messing around extending the point sleepers for these Pico dummy Aston point motors to sit on. I had a lot of head scratching because London Underground do use several means of point activation, and I wasn't sure whether they use this type of electric point motor, but having watched several cab ride videos that are available on YouTube and the internet, I've actually seen quite a few lines that use this type of point motor, so I'm going to settle for using the Pico ones rather than trying to scratch build or construct, some of the pneumatic types. I've also cut out some of these small pits in the Court Road bed. These are to accept these excellent scale model scenery catch pits or water drainage pits. These are actually made of cardboard and the grills are laser cut MDF, but they do look really, really nice. The only other thing that I've been messing around with is the cables that feed the third and fourth rails respectively. These are scattered all over London Underground, and I want to get some sort of representation of them on the module. I'm still trying to find a suitable gauge wire in which to represent these with, and a right coloured wire. I need, sort of looking at prototype pictures, I need like a lightish grey. So I'm still looking for something like that. Obviously, it's something that I can't do until I've got all the rails in place, the rails painted and weathered, and also the ballasting done, because these cables in real life just sit on top of the ballast. Obviously, they won't be stuck up like they are here, they'll be glued down, so a bit more representational of the real thing. But that's about it, really. There's not a lot more that I can do. As I said, I'm stuck in limbo until these third and fourth rail ramps arrive, which is the bane of my life at the moment. But there you have it. Again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like this and share. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And hopefully I'll see you next time on Subsurface.